For
How many
sure.
times when things are down do people want to convert to an annuity to protect that downfall? And what are some of the things that you're telling those clients and having in regards to that panic and liquidating to put everything in an annuity at the bottom? One of the other things that kind of brings up too when you're talking about Armageddon portfolios, Adam, is I know that we were having a conversation the other day about it. Is usually when things are really bad, like markets are down, is when we get more calls and conversations around insurance, right? Annuities.
For
How
sure.
many times when things are down do people want to convert to an annuity to protect that downfall? And what are some of the things that you're telling those clients and having in regards to that panic and liquidating to put everything in an annuity at the bottom?
Yeah, just generally, we try to really simplify things for clients and help them think about things they understand. Like insurance, we tell them insurance is for insurance. You're hoping not to use it. So when you buy insurance on your car or insurance on your house or insurance on your life, you're hoping not to use it. That's the idea. So annuities are to protect something. If anything, an annuity has to make sense for multiple reasons, which it usually doesn't for our clients. But if it did, you would want to do it when the market was at its peak, right? We don't know when that is, but let's just say you got to a certain number and you were like, hey, this is what I need. I want to guarantee it. There'd be other conversations around that, but at least there's some protection there. The exact opposite time to go to annuities, any type of annuity, even look at an annuity, is when the market is down. You're paying for insurance to protect
The lowest level.
the losses you've already incurred. I mean, that's getting hit by the train and then jumping out of the way. It doesn't make any sense. So the other thing we explain about annuities is I always use this, basic kind of a triangle, and clients really understand return. Obviously, everyone wants to make money, and they do understand risk. No one wants to lose it. And what kind of risk am I taking? But like we talked about with the marketable securities, they don't understand liquidity. And so we always say, hey, you could pick risk, return, liquidity. There's a triangle, and you can go anywhere on the edge. So you can pick two of them, but you can't have the third. So if you want to have risk and return, that's your standard, marketable security investments, your stocks, your ETFs, your mutual funds. If you want annuities, you're basically giving up liquidity. Okay, so you've given up your liquidity, you locked in the downside, and you have some upside, but you have no ability to move out of that. If you don't want any risk and you want liquidity and some return, that's cash. Right now, those returns are low. So you can kind of move anywhere on that triangle, but the one that clients we found over many, many years often discount as liquidity. And I think that's one of the reasons we value it most for clients, because had a guy come in the other day that, $500,000 into annuity, had a great plan, didn't think he needed the money. I didn't sell him the annuity, by the way. It was somebody else. And then something happened. Had an accident, hurt his elbow, had to have surgery, out of work, and things change. And the annuity said money's locked up. He's pre-retirement age. You got surrender charges. You got early retirement withdrawal penalties. Just all kinds of negative things. And I felt bad that it happened to him. But it's a perfect example of why the annuity often makes sense, but you don't understand. You don't think about the downsides, and you give up a lot of liquidity.
Well, it has to be the perfect fit. That's one of those things that has to be the perfect fit. It has to be the perfect replacement for pension money that might be coming in. You have a rollover out of a big retirement plan, and you need specified income, right? You need to be guaranteed income, or you need somebody to back the income number. It's got to be perfect, and there's just not very many situations where it is perfect. And a lot of people, again, Kyle, to your point, a lot of people in situations like this, they go, well, what's the perfect answer? And they're looking for protection, and it's kind of like calling your insurance guy after you have the flood. It's not a good time to try to buy flood insurance. You got to set it up beforehand when your house is really, really valuable.
You know, and along those lines, I mean, obviously, you know, clients do own annuities, right? It's not something
Sure.
that we completely exclude, and it may make
Right.
sense for parts of money or some of your money or for certain reasons. You know, like you said, the perfect example, Chris, is creating that pension like income, right? And so some of the income generating annuities make sense, but that's not when people are calling right now for those, right? The calls we're getting for annuities are because of the fire sale, right? It's
Right.
the fire insurance after the fire already happened. And usually that's the type of annuity that gets sold a lot right now, that can do a lot of disservice to clients by like you said, Adam, removing that liquidity from their portfolios and locking stuff up for 7, 8, 10 years at a time when things have already kind of, you know, near the bottom there. So,
Well,
Well,
and often at, you know, we've seen in the last many years, often at really low interest rates.
mhm.
You lock yourself into a 3% return for 10 years. And I mean, you look back at that and go, oh, that sounds weird, but it happens regularly.
Well, the irony, though, if you think about it, because most of them have that 7 to 10 year lockup, if you ask the same client, do you think the financial markets will be lower than where they are today a decade from now? Most of the same clients would agree that they probably won't be. The times in history that markets have been flat over a full decade, I think occur once. Other than that, the likelihood of making money over that long a time, you've got a 95% probability, I think is the number. So really what they're doing is going back to Adam's point, they're removing the marketability of it. So that way they don't have to see the number anymore.
Or
Mhm.
liquidity.
Well,
Oh,
right.
yeah, market,
They're-
right. Yeah, see the
so
value.
that way they're not getting berated in the face
Yeah.
with what the markets are doing. It's like, okay, I just feel better. But really what they're doing is they're taking a diversified portfolio. If that's why they're doing is buying it just straight out of fear, they're buying a diversified portfolio. But they're going to have the same timeline as if they just said, okay, I'm going to take this other diversified portfolio and just kind of leave it alone for a decade.
Yeah. So exactly. So you got to understand what you're doing. If you get an annuity and you're still, and it's variable annuity and you're still invested in the market, you've basically just paid more for insurance that you probably won't need. If you're like Jason said, if you believe the market's going to go up and you're going to be invested in the market, but you want downside protection, you're just paying more. And that's the issue with really any investment, anything in life, right? It's trade-offs. I say this all the time. You're trading one thing for another thing. You have to know what you're giving up. If you get something, if you get a certain product like an annuity, you get some benefits to that, but you also have some downside. And a lot of times, my issue isn't so much with the product for the perfect fit, is that the people that sell them typically only tell you the positives, which sounds really great. And then you don't know the negatives. You don't know the trade-offs. And so, I mean, our job, you know, on this side in the RIA world is not to sell products. Our job is to help clients. So if the annuity is a great fit, yeah, we absolutely will look at it and possibly implement it for the client. But it's not a product sale. It's not something that we have to sell annuities. We're here to manage portfolios and manage financial lives. So,
Right.